Come on in, come on in. Hello, everyone. This is Jen with Jen's Den Art. There I am. I see me.
Hello, everyone. This is Jen
Excuse me.
with Jen.
Excuse me. I have a little frog in my throat today. Come on in, come on in. We are going to talk today, and we're actually going to paint too while we talk. We're going to do two things at the same time. Let's see if I can actually do that. I don't know. Sometimes that's kind of hard for me. Come on in and say hi. Where is my little phone? Oh, hang on. Let me get my little phone holder so I can see the comments. Hello, Carmel and Margaret and Miss Lynn. Come on in and say hi. We are going to have some fun today. Just a little chat and a little kind of like a Q&A / painting time. And we're going to talk about the bare essentials that you need to start your acrylic painting journey. I get asked that question all the time, and I do have a blog about it that I talk about all of the supplies that I use. I use a lot more than I actually really need. So what we're going to talk about today is just if you want to get started, or you're not really sure if you want to get started, but you want to try, then what we're going to talk about today is how you can get started. And I want to know, for all of you that are watching, tell me if you had to rank yourself as an acrylic artist from 1 to 5, 1 being I am just starting and I want to start, okay, or let's go 0. I want to start painting in acrylics, but I'm not really sure where to start. Or let's go all the way to 5. You've been painting for years, for 20 years, you've got it all, you know what you need to do, okay? I would actually consider myself about a 4. I've been painting for 7 years now, and I'm still learning a lot. So I still have a lot to learn. And there's always something new that I'm finding out, about all of the different types of acrylics that you can use. And I still haven't tried out all of them, so it's always, excuse me, it's always a big painting challenge, and it's fun to try different things. So what I wanted to talk to you today about while we're painting is, what do you need? Well, of course, if you want to start your acrylic painting journey, the first thing you're going to need is, what would you think would be the first thing that you would need? If you needed to go to the store and buy something, what's the first thing that you would need to buy that you know that you probably don't already have in your house? I mean, that's kind of a crazy question, but I think you all know. If you were fortunate, I'm less than 1. If you're Miss Donna, that is not true. So yes, Carmel says paint. Paint is definitely the first thing that you would need, because that's not something that most of us keep in our house unless we're already a crafter. Then we might already have, we might have some little things like this, these little craft jars here. Oh, I'm upside down. Oh, I sure am. I'm upside down. Okay, hang on. We're going to fix that. I didn't realize I was upside down. I'm going to have to roly-poly this whole thing. I don't know how else to fix that. So let's see if that'll work. Is that better? Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm better now. Okay. So, yes, we definitely need paint. What kind of paints do you need? Well, of course, the easiest, and it's what I use, and it's what I've always used since I started. I've never done anything else, except just lately I've started getting into a little bit of watercolor, and I tried oils for a couple of days, and it was like a little sample pack that I got in the mail, and I was like, okay, this is too messy for me. I'm not in the mood to do this. So I put it aside and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I like my acrylics. And so you first need paints. You can personally, you can create beautiful artwork with the cheapest kind of acrylic paints that you can find. You don't have to buy the expensive stuff. Now, when you're first starting, I would highly recommend you just buy the basic stuff. You can buy like a little pack of acrylic paints. You can buy the individual little containers like this. It's totally up to you. As far as the brands, I do not have a preference, and I will show you why. I have Deco Art, I have Liquitex, I have Golden, I have Master's Touch, I have Winsor and Newton, I have all of the different kinds. I have heavy body, I have fluid, I have basic. I just have it all because to me, it's fun. It's fun to try all of these different kinds of paints and whatever's on sale. And that's just, and if it's a color that I like and I'm like, ooh, I like that color, I want to try that color, then I just buy it. And I'm on a budget too. I don't have a ton of amount of money just to go buy whatever I want. So I look for those sales, and if there's a pink that I know that I really want, because pink is magenta, I can't do magenta. I can't mix and make magenta. So if there's a magenta that I really want, then I might splurge on something specific like that. But most of the time, I'm just like, oh, I like this terracotta color. I think I'm going to buy it because I like the color. So, but I do make sure I like, for example, right now, I'm on the search for some beautiful pastel colors. Because if you look behind me, you see my art holder, which most of the paints aren't even on the holder right now because they're all over my desk. I'm on the search right now for the most beautiful pastels. And you can't really buy that many pastels in your tube paints. Okay, they don't have a lot of pastels. You basically just need to add white to things, and I'm just realizing that. And I've been painting for 7 years. The reason why I'm just realizing that is if you look around my room or if you look on my website, most of the time I paint in very vibrant colors. And pastels are not something that I'm used to painting in, or putting a lot of white in my paint to make them, more of like the Easter vibe, basically. And so my challenge this month for me and my tribe is we are going to start learning how to paint in those really light, beautiful pastel colors. And we're going to go down to those neutrals. So the challenge for me this month, or in March, we're going to be doing that in March, is to learn how to do that. But I caught myself because I went to the professional side of the, in Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Normally Michael's I go to look for my paints. They didn't really have what I wanted. So I caught myself and I went to the craft paints in these smaller ones. And I was like, and I ran out of time because I had an appointment to go to. But when I got to the craft paints, I was like, oh yeah, that's a pretty color. And a lot of your professional paints you can't find in the same colors that you can find your craft paints in. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to have fun buying a few really beautiful pastel colors that are, I like folk art. Folk art is my brand that I like to go to the most with your craft, your little bottles. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to find us some beautiful pastel colors that we're going to use for our paintings. So I'm super excited about that. So anyway, all about paints. You need to have some kind of paints to paint with, okay? Any kind you want, it does not matter. You can just have 4 basic colors, or I would say probably 5. Your black and your white, okay? Black and white. Normally I go with a titanium white and a Mars black. and or just black and white. I mean, it doesn't have to have a special name to it, you know. And then blue, yellow, and red. And that's it. You can actually mix colors. You can mix all of your different colors just using blue, yellow, and red. And then your black and your white is going to make it darker or lighter, that kind of thing. So you can start that simple. Okay. You can really, really start that simple. And I'm going to check the comments really quick. You have many craft paints, Cassie? Yes. Because we've moved so much in the last year, I did have a big old tub of craft paints, but our U-Haul was getting too full and I had to get rid of some things. And so anyway, my craft paints are not what they used to be, but I have a feeling I'm going to start buying some more pretty soon because I just love the colors of craft paints. They're so pretty and they're already mixed to that color, and you can make beautiful paintings with craft paints. So don't feel like you have to go out and buy all of these tubes. By the way, I do want to let you know something else. When I was in Michaels, not to say anything bad about Michaels because I'm an affiliate for Michaels and I get a commission if you use my links. Something that I saw, I'm looking for my little Liquitex bottles that I buy. I like to buy the little 2 ounce. Let me find one really quick. Let me see. Okay, something like this. I think this is I buy these I usually buy these at Michaels. These Liquitex heavy body acrylics on this size, the little 2 ounce bottles. Y'all, these things are like almost $11 a piece at Michaels. And they never go on sale because they're Liquitex brand. They're not Master's Touch brand. But when I went to Blick.com, which I'm also an affiliate on Blick, they were like $6.82 instead of $10.97 or whatever it was. So I chose not to purchase any in the store. And I went online on the Blick website and I purchased these because I found they were cheaper. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this or not. If you can afford to buy this kind of stuff, this is going to last me over a year. Okay, because you don't have to use a lot at all. If you can afford to buy this, it is better. Okay, it does make your painting experience more enjoyable. But if you don't know any better, it's really not a big deal. And it depends on what color you're trying to buy on Blick. Some of the colors are more expensive than other colors. And it's just because it may be, I don't know why, maybe because the color is very hard to make and they don't make many of them. So they have a higher price on them. I'm really not sure. Or maybe it's supply and demand. Really not sure. I'd love to know why some of the paints are more expensive than others. Maybe you know, and you can share that with me. Let's see. They bit the dust. Yes. So you have to look. It is a big difference in price. There were some colors that were the same price, but there were some colors that at Michael's, it was the same exact color. It was 10 something, and on Blick, it was like either 6 or 8, depending on, So anyway, comparison shop between the stores, Jerry's Artorama, Cheap Joe's, Blick's, Amazon. Compare the prices. That is exactly right, because sometimes they'll be on sale online. So yes, absolutely. So, sometimes it takes a while for you to find exactly what you want, but paints are so much fun to buy. My favorite thing to buy is the next thing we're going to talk about. And y'all know what that is. If you've been following me for a while, you know what that is. Paintbrushes. I just love paintbrushes. And I think it's the teacher in me because I love notebooks and pencils and pens and markers, and just from being a teacher and all of that kind of stuff is really, it's a feel-good thing for me. So paintbrushes are my feel-good thing in painting. It's what I have to put in my hand to actually start creating the pieces. And so, yeah, let me show you. I'm going to turn my camera. No, I'm not going to turn my camera because I'm going to mess it up. But I have a lot of paintbrushes. A lot. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 of these full of paintbrushes. And yeah, that's my fun part. I love buying paintbrushes. From the cheap paintbrushes to the expensive paintbrushes, I try them all. Now, I'm not going to lie. My favorite thing to buy, let me see if I have, oh, I do have one. I have a set right here. My favorite thing to buy is the Master's Touch or the Fine Touch packs at Hobby Lobby. I love these. Okay. This is a $9.99 price for a pack of paintbrushes. And I probably bought this on the, 40% off? They have them, I think. So if you take 40% off of $10, this is only $6. And I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I get 10 paintbrushes for $6. So, and look, they're all, can y'all see all the different kinds? You have the liner brushes. You have a filbert brush. I'm trying not to make it blurry. Let me put it right here. It might be better. Yeah, you have a filbert brush. You have some bigger round brushes. You have a flat brush, an angle brush, and then another angle brush, another flat brush. And this is another small filbert brush. So I like to buy the long handles because the longer the handles, the more loose I can stay in my painting. So this is not in the craft section. This is in the professional art section where you go to get your canvases. It's like all the way in the back of the store where you go to get your paint tubes. If you're buying acrylic paint tubes, that's the kind of stuff that I like to buy. So any little tidbits I can give you, I know that a lot of you have been painting with me for a while. So, you know, this might be repetitive for you, but there's a lot of new followers out there that haven't seen all of these things that I have previously shown over the last 3 years. And so I just wanted to let you know that you really only need to buy those 2 things. That's it. Paintbrushes, even just one paintbrush if you want to start with, okay? But I mean, you can't really go wrong with a pack like this. Paintbrushes, paint, that's it. You're done. You don't need to buy anything else if you want to start off. You don't even have to buy a canvas. You can find something at your house to paint on. Acrylics, you can paint on anything. You can paint on, let me show you, like something like a notebook. You can turn a notebook over and you can paint on the back of it. It's just like cardboard. You can paint on a cereal box. Like you can just paint on anything. You can paint on paper. Seriously, you can paint on anything. So you don't even have to buy surfaces, okay? If you want to get started and you just want to try it all out, I highly suggest that you just spend the least amount of money and get yourself started and just try it. Just try it and see if it's something you like. Other things that you're going to need that you already have at your house. Agua. Okay, we need water. We need something to put the water in. Okay, this is like super big. I was looking for my little my coffee cup. A lot of times I just use a coffee cup. Like in the living room. I think it's in the living room because I have a little spot where I paint in the living room as well. You just need water and you need a cup. Any kind of cup. Everybody has a cup at their house. Okay. So you need water. All of your acrylic paints only use water. You don't need to buy any kind of special materials for, mixing and all of that kind of stuff like you have to do for oils. All you need is water. What else? A rag, something to wipe your paintbrushes off. And guess what I use? You have this at your house too. Paper towels, okay? You can just wipe your paintbrushes off on this. You can wipe your paint off, whatever you want. I also use old rags. I love old rags. My favorite is old t-shirts, and I just cut them up, and I use old rags. that you already have at your house. Something to put your paint on. Okay, so when you're taking the tubes and you're putting them out on something like this, okay, this is wet. This is wet paint right here. The rest of it is all dry. You see how when acrylics dry, they're super cool. Look at that. You can like save these pieces and just, I don't know, you can make a mixed media piece with it or something. Do any of y'all do that? I know I'm just rambling right now. I'm like, sometimes I just like keep on talking and I don't even know if anybody's watching, but see these little pieces of paint? You can save the paint. You can make some mixed media pieces, do things like that. This right here, I actually buy these. It's almost like wax paper. So you might have wax paper at your house. You can use a paper plate. How many of us have paper plates at their house? Or just a plate out of your kitchen if you can do that. You know, you might want to just take a plate. The paper that I use is actually called palette paper. Okay, it's disposable palette cleanup. All right, it's specially coated with a white mixing surface, ideal for acrylics, oils. I don't know what this other stuff is. And I buy them in the big sheets because sometimes I need a big painting surface to mix paint on, depending on what size canvas I'm using. But most of the time, I just fold it. I fold it in half, or I cut them. I'll cut them in half, and I'll just use this right here, and then I can just throw it away when I'm done with it. So that's what I use. But you can use anything you want. You can use glass. Glass is a popular item that people like, and then you just clean your glass after you're done. So I did a heart with pieces of paint. Oh, you did? That's pretty cool. I'd love to see that, Maria. That sounds fun. Yeah. Okay. Is there a difference in filbert brush? I thought it was. I missed that. I thought I was buying some because they were rounded, but they are very stiff and difficult to use. Depends on the type of bristles. Yes. So the bristles that I like to use are kind of like the soft. Make sure it says for acrylics, and make sure you buy synthetic. I would buy synthetic. So I would definitely make sure. Yeah. So the type of brush it is, the filbert is the type of brush and the kind of roundedness it's going to have. But then you also have to watch for the some of your brushes are really hard bristles, and some are soft and some are medium. I usually go for kind of like the medium. They don't actually say medium on the brushes, but if you look for synthetic, and these I know are they're perfect for me. I really, really like these. So you just have to find the kind that you like, and you can see kind of when I move my paintbrush, it's kind of it's like a medium. It's not like super, super soft, but it's not really hard either. And these work the best for me. I really like them. So yeah, this is a really, I think I end up buying the individual ones every once in a while, because you can actually feel them, like the ones in the store that you can touch, and you have that touchy feely time. That I catch myself buying those every once in a while because I can really feel them and see what kind of texture they paint with. So, but yes, Dollar Tree now sells palette paper for $1.25. How many sheets do you get? That's awesome. I'm so glad they're doing that. Yeah, Dollar Tree has a lot of good stuff that you can find there. You can buy. I saw in the store the other day, they sell at Dollar Tree those little wooden, all different shapes. Like they're shaped like rabbits, or they're shaped like hearts, or those little wooden pieces. That's always fun to use to paint on as well. One of my favorite things to paint on is hardboard, or what y'all probably know it as is like MDF. Okay, you can go to Home Depot. You can buy a sheet of MDF for, I don't know what the price is now, because, you know, the price of wood is a lot more expensive now. It's cheaper for me to buy canvases now than it is to buy wood panels. I have noticed that, like the wood panels have gone up a lot. But the MDF, you can buy a sheet of this, and if you can use a cutting tool, like, you know, if you can use power tools, or you have someone around that uses power tools, just have them cut a bunch of sheets out of it, and you can end up spending like less than 50 cents for something to paint on. And it's nice enough to where you can frame this. You know, you can actually frame this and make a beautiful piece of art with a very, very cheap painting surface. So that is probably my best hack for y'all, is go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy a sheet of MDF. I think you can buy them 4x8 is pretty big to buy and, you know, bring home. So I think you can get them in like maybe 2x4, or, you know, something a little bit smaller where you can buy just a sheet, and then you can cut it up into different sizes, from small sizes to big sizes, whatever you want. So I tend to paint, the largest that I tend to paint on is a 16x20, because I am running out of room, and my entire room, I have everything hanging up that is hangable, because I have a lot of my artwork already framed, which is also another DIY that we can talk to y'all about, framing. Something else that I started painting on a lot is thick watercolor paper. Okay, and this is about $1 a sheet if you get them on sale. I like to use 9x12s. I use 11x14s, but they're still frameable. Like, they are still, it's frameable artwork that you can, this is an 11x14 right here. You can see that one. And here's an example of a painting. This is kind of like a little abstract painting that I did a while back, that I just put in a cheap frame from, I want to say, Hobby Lobby. Yes, from Hobby Lobby. It says $8.99, but it was 50% off. So I probably paid $4.50 for this frame, and I put a mat in it, or maybe it came with the mat. And then now I have a beautiful piece of art with a beautiful frame around it. And that's it. So, and that was a piece of watercolor paper that I used, and it was acrylics. I used acrylics. So you can do so many fun things with your work. I just ordered some more from Michael's. Good, Margaret. I'm glad you like it. I'm liking it a lot too. I like the way the paint moves on the actual paper. So what I'm going to do right now, because for my followers who are doing the 50-day art challenge, I'm going to give y'all a little bonus today, and we're going to paint together, because I did not do my, I'm behind, and I'm on day 13, which I'm supposed to be on what day am I supposed to be on? I'm supposed to be on day 15, and I'm on day 13. And day 13 is Easter. That is the theme. And if y'all are not familiar with the 50 days of art, I have an art challenge going on out there that challenges everyone. I have too much water on my paintbrush. It challenges everyone to paint for at least 15 minutes a day. And I give you a prompt. And day 13, the prompt was Easter. So basically you just say, okay, well, I just want to paint something dealing with Easter. And most of the paintings that I've been doing is I have this little watercolor pad, and I've been painting in here. Okay, that's always fun. And then you can go back and look at what you've done. And these were some of the prompts that we've done so far. This one was about hearts. This one was, what was this one, y'all? High heels. The prompt was high heels. This one, the prompt was a feather. This one, the prompt was a leaf. This one, the prompt was stripes. This one was gardening tool. This one was books. I'm almost done. I don't have many more. This one was night. This one was only use black and white. And this one was flower. So that's all I have in here so far. And that's been our prompts. Every day I've been painting, but I fell behind the last few days. And so this prompt is Easter. So what I'm going to do is I am going to paint something dealing with Easter on here today. And the color that I'm using right now, this is a canvas 5x5. And this is a really popular Easter item that I sell in my on my Etsy shop and in my Shopify store, which is basically the same products in both, but I just have two stores. And this is our Easter cross that we paint. I think we have a tutorial in the tribe. Maybe y'all can tell us. Those of y'all who are in the tribe, my tribe sisters, let me know. Do I have a tutorial? Because I have over 220 tutorials in there. Do I have this tutorial in the tribe library? I'm not really sure if I do. Yes, Cindy says I do. Thank you, Cindy. I knew you would know, Cindy. So I'm just going to do a quick, I'm not going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to do it a little bit different. So I'm going to make a little Easter painting here. And I need a little bit of green. The first color that I used, by the way, was ocean green. It is one of those acrylics from Hobby Lobby. Okay, you can tell when I lived in Helena, they didn't have a Michael's. They only had a Hobby Lobby. So most of my supplies are Hobby Lobby brand because when we lived in Montana, that was the only store that was available for me to go to. And, you know, everybody loves going to stores. You don't always want to buy everything online. It's fun to go and like touch and feel things, you know? It's fun to go shopping. Although I'm not that much of a shopper, to tell you the truth. Okay, so I'm mixing a little bit of a green. I'm going to make this a little bit different than what I normally do. I think I'm going to make this into almost like a chapel landscape. So I'm going to let y'all watch me create this together. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just making like a, my vision is this is just my ground. I'm just going to start with that. And I mixed a lot of white in my green. My green was a sap green, I think. I mixed a lot of white. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this really fun. What I'm going to do is way in the background, I think I'm going to go a little bit higher. I am. I'm going to go a little bit higher with this. So my vision is I have a chapel on a hill. And then I have a cross up here in the front. So let's just make a quick chapel here. Just like a white chapel. My blue paint is still wet, so it's not coming out the best. But it will. I'm just going to start. I'm just trying to get the perspective right. This is going to be a chapel right here. I'm going to come back and finish it, but I'm just trying to figure out my drawing area. Speaking of Michaels, I just got a Michaels email about saving money on something they're selling. Okay, let's go with a little bit of brown. I'm going to make a cross right here, but I'm going to make it come to the front. I'm using a round brush. I'm kind of using this brush for drawing purposes. I'm drawing with my paintbrush. And I'm going to keep it very loose. Can you discuss what size and type brush you are using? Yes, ma'am, I can. Miss Stacy, I am using a number 8 fine touch round brush. I am a very free brush painter, meaning that I don't use, very, very seldom do I use a particular brush because of a certain brush stroke. I kind of just use any brush because because I'm very impressionistic in my work. And so the paintbrush, the paintbrush doesn't always have, I don't always pick up I guess what I'm trying to say is I just pick up any paintbrush and just start painting. I'm not really particular about, oh, I need this and that, except when I'm doing flowers. You'll see me use a filbert brush pretty often there. On leaves, I use a filbert brush for stuff like that. But okay, so I'm going to start with a cross, and I'm going to start with, let me try a different paintbrush here because I don't really like the way that one's working for me. I'm going to use a flat because and the reason why I'm going to use a flat is because I'm working with larger surfaces here. I'm working with some big square areas with my white. And so I can cover a little bit more ground by using that. So I'm going to use this flat brush to make my church. I'm still not happy with my church. Let's see. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. Make it come down a little bit more. Where it's kind of like going off the page or off the canvas. And then I'm going to grab some black. Just a teeny bit of black. And I'm going to grab a palette knife. Excuse me. All right. So I'm using a palette knife that has the edge of the palette knife that's about the same distance as the size of the sides of the church. So I'm going to use it to make some straight lines on certain areas. And then this is going to be the roof right here. So this area right here, let me go a little bit further. This is going to be the front of the church right here. And that's basically all that's showing. Let me make that a little bit. Bring in some white. All right, I'm cleaning off my palette knife, and then I'm going to I need some heavy body white paint. Okay, so I'm going to grab, you see this, how thick it is? I want to use that. I'm going to put some of that on my paint palette. And I'm going to let's take another palette knife. I'm going to take a small one because I'm working in a really small area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paint. Notice that I picked this up so I can turn it. I'm going to take this paint and I'm going to make my cloth that's draped over my cross for Easter time. And then on the back side of this cross is where the cloth is going to come down. So I'm just putting a glob of white. That's way too much white. Just want to let you know. But we're going to make it work. And what I love about this heavy body is it makes it look like it's got that dimension already. Let's pull that down. Okay. So we're not done with our church. I need to fix my church. I'm going to bring in some more white. And I'm going to grab a little bit of black. And I'm going to make a door. Very, very loose. I'm not being very, perfect on this. A little bit of a steeple. And I'm just going to touch across up there. And then down here, we're going to have some fun. We're going to take some lighter green, like more of a lime green. And we're going to make some grass. I can hear in my head all the bass and alto voices with their, "Aw, y'all are just so sweet." And then we're going to have some fun I have this fluorescent pink, but I'm not going to use it as a fluorescent. I'm going to use it with white. Let me show you what's going to happen. Can y'all see this? Now you can. All right, so I just have a little bit of fluorescent pink, and I'm going to mix it with white. And look at that beautiful pink that makes with that white. It calms it down to a beautiful, beautiful pink color. I love it. I just discovered this yesterday. I was like, ooh, that's a pretty pink. All right, and I'm going to take some of that paint and I'm going to make some flowers. Just make some little dots way back there. Try to make this look teeny tiny. I'll put a little bit more green. A little bit of palette knife work. So a little bit of green on my palette knife there. I don't like that there's nothing right here, so we need to talk about that. What would y'all put right there in the middle? What would y'all put? Let's make this together. Don't make it something I can't draw now. Has to be something that I can actually draw. Like, I feel like it's empty right here. Should I do, I don't know, I could do like a sun, or I could do clouds. What do y'all think? I want to put a little bit more pink. A little bit more pink in here. A sun, yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking too. A bit of a cloud. Maybe I could do both. Trees. Oh, I didn't even think about trees. That's a good one. Sun, trees, a dove. Oh, I could put some birds flying. Just put birds, maybe birds flying in the distance. So y'all see what I'm talking about? It's like it's bare in that area. I would probably just do a rustic black with a knife. Yes. Once it dries, I'm going to do the rustic black. You're exactly right. But I feel like, let me just try this. Let me get a little bit of yellow. Yellow. Just a very, very, like almost behind the clouds sun. Let's try this. This is a lemon yellow. I'm going to add just a teeny bit of bright. See what happens. Okay, so I'm going to get a new paintbrush so I don't have any of those other colors on my paintbrush. And I think I'm just going to try a round. No, I'm going to use a filbert. Okay. This filbert has a rounded edge. It's going to help me make a circle better. So I'm going to take yellow and white and make a really, really pale yellow. I know it's going to look green at first, okay? It's going to look green because of that blue behind it. But We're going to make it work. If you mix that white with the yellow, it'll kind of make it a little bit more opaque. And I mean, if I actually had a design in my head before I started, I would have put the sun before. But the design didn't, it kind of just came out of nowhere while we were painting. So I'm just kind of playing around. That's what's good about using like mixed media paper or something, you know, like the first time you paint something, use some kind of paper. And then once you know exactly what your design's going to be, then you go ahead and use your canvas or whatever you want to put it on, you know. A lot of our tribe members, that's what they do. They practice first on like mixed media paper or something like that. And then if it's something that they really like, then they go and repaint it again on a canvas or something, you know, to give as a gift or to sell. A lot of our members like to sell their work. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm a little hoarse today. I've been having a little sinus drip from we live in the pine woods here, and I think I might be allergic to pine needles. Trying to get just a teeny bit of the white to make like some clouds. Back there. Well, I'm not crazy about the sun back there, but for the most part, right? It's pretty darn good. All right, let's bring in a little bit more and then we'll be done. I'm going to use, let me see where it is. Here they are. I'm going to use a pen. I'm going to use a pen and I'm going to bring in just a little bit more fun in here. I'm always very careful about this part because I'm not the best at it. But I'm going to make the edges have a little bit. You can use your paintbrush and do this too, watch. You can use your paintbrush on the edges if you wanted to add a little bit of the rusticness on the edges, or you can use your palette knife once it's dry. I would not do it while it's still wet, but once it's dry, you can use your palette knife to do this as well. And that kind of gives it like a little frame around it. A little bit of fun there. Okay, I'm going to call it a little bit of fun. Makes it just have a little bit more play in it. And that, my friends, let's do this right here. I need a different pen. This is not my best pen. When it's dry, I'm going to do a little bit more in there. So That is our little play Easter, piece that I needed to do because I had to do my 50 days of art. So here is my 50 days of art piece that I did live with y'all today. Hello, Miss Cecile from Canada. Thank y'all all for being live with me. And I am going to check all of your, I'm never as happy with the second painting. You know, excuse me, Miss Robin, I struggle with that, and I'll show you what happens with me is this. My first painting, I'm very free and loose, and I allow myself to make mistakes. And okay, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that. And then once I paint it again the second time, normally that is the tutorial where I'm teaching. And when I'm teaching, it's like I catch myself being more perfect and not being as loose. So I agree. I see the same thing when I paint the first time versus the second time because I guess I'm trying to explain a lot more, and so I don't allow myself freedom as much. So yeah, I see what you're saying, Miss Robin. Yeah. Can you show a what? Can I show a close up, please? Yes, ma'am. Do you want a close up? Oh, let me do this. Let me get my face out of the camera. Let me get my face out of the camera and show y'all just with this for a sec. All right, there you go. So this was a canvas. It's one of those canvas panels you buy that's all finished on the back side. And you can see the texture in the painting as well. I'm trying to make it. Okay, there we go. So that's it. It's really thick. It's like 1.5 inches thick. So it stands. You can use it like in your like your 3-tier trays or anything like that, you know. So it was super fun. Let me get me back on the camera. All right, guys, thank y'all so much for being here today. I just wanted to give a few little tips and tricks for all of you and let you know that we're still here and we're still painting away in our tribe. And and the last thing I was going to share with y'all, I don't know where it is. Never mind. I'm not going to share it with you. We have a new mini tribe painting coming out soon. Oh, I know. I can show it to y'all here. If you're interested in joining the, let me see if I can get it to overlay here. Let me add an overlay. Where's it at? Where's it at? Desktop? Nope. 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 Downloads. I don't see it. I thought it was on my desktop, but it is not. I don't see. The new painting that we're going to be painting in the mini tribe is a gazebo. Go on my Facebook page, you will see it. And so we are going to start painting that one March 6th and 7th. So you can come and paint with us. It's a beautiful gazebo with a walk, like a garden area that you walk to the gazebo and with trees and stuff. It's really pretty. So anyway, I'm going to be posting that link as well to, to paint along with us for that. So I will see you all soon. I'll be back. I don't know when, but I'll be back with some more tips and tricks for your acrylic painting journey. Let me know if there's anything in particular you would like to learn more about, specific brush strokes or paint brushes or whatever. And I will come on and share those techniques with y'all a couple of times a month. I'd like to come on and help you all learn more about your acrylic painting techniques and ideas. And I would love to share whatever whatever you need help with. All right. So y'all have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.